What's up, y'all? I am LTJ Reeves. This is Throwing Light, and if you're not throwing light, you're not acting right. It is Wednesday, October 2nd, and we have a special. I've got Mama Dawn, Texas Handler
Hello.
2024, on here to talk about Glue Weekend classes. As you remembered, I had my leather brother, IMO brother, Kevin, Mr. Fire Dancer 2022, come on and talk about Glue Weekend, which is happening October. Dawn, help me out.
11th, 12th, and 13th, or no, 10th, 11th, and 12th.
There we go, October 10th, 11th, and 12th. I will be there actually teaching for Glue Weekend. So before I bring Mama Dawn, who is my guest, that's going to be in charge of classes, and I'll be teaching as well. I first want to remind everybody that this show, Throwing Light, was inspired originally with Ashwell's help, ashwellatx.org. Please visit them. Asheville Sexual Health and Wellness is a place that provides the community with the service they need, such as testing, STI testing, mental health services. They even have a food bank. It's nice that we have organizations like this that exist so they can help our communities thrive and put ourselves in good footing. So yes, if you could learn about that, go to ashwellatx.org. And you can even donate and learn about that as well too. So with that being said, let me move on and bring back for the second time Mama Dawn, Texas Pup Handler 2024. How are you? And I'm so glad to have you back.
I miss you too. You're my family. I miss you.
You're
And
originally
believe it or not,
come
a
to
year ago
Houston.
that we got to meet in person at Glue.
So this is the deal though. Every time I come to Houston, like it was so great. When I came the other weekend, right?
Huh?
When I showed up, we all went out and we hung out, right?
Mm-hmm.
It felt good coming there. I feel like when I came, I felt like I was coming to family. It was nice. It was nice to be able to show up there and be able to because I was coming off a bad week when I came in town. I was in a bad headspace there for a moment. Yeah, yo, I almost quit everything.
I tell you what, though, you may not have felt it, but I had people asking, "Who's that? Who's that?" I'm like, "That's my brother. That's my family. Introduce, introduce." I swear you had a parade going on, creating a snail trail.
Whatever.
I am dead serious. Dead serious.
Well, I was there. It was nice being able to get out of Austin for a moment. It made me feel like I've done a great job at I guess I mean like connecting and being a part of our lives.
But
It's
that
cool.
shows that it's the family, no matter where we live and no matter the community, we
Yeah,
are
but it's only a
truly.
2 hour. It's only a 2.5 hour drive for me to hop over to come to Houston. And the thing is that you as a title holder now, that the community becomes a priority, and so you don't necessarily get too socialized like you want to, like because when you're a title holder, no matter what event you go to, like to some degree, it has a little work feeling to it. Does that make sense? Mm.
I get it. Aside when we are talking about glue, that we are the classes are not just going to be at the Montrose Center. We're having the pet, pup, and critter classes taught by pet community at Pause, because we have the social. So we're going to actually have those classes in two places, and we're going to be able to um, mingle and interact with other title holders, people who are just coming into the community who have questions. They may see us online. Um, we talk about being a title holder as representing our community and being there for others that aren't quite sure where they fit, or where they belong, and being able to guide them if we don't have the answer, showing them where they need to go
So,
or who to talk to.
a lot of people don't know that a lot of our, as people that are outside the leather community, I don't think they understand that we offer often with our leather weekends educational courses and classes and
Mm-hmm.
opportunities to learn about the community and how to engage in, adult consensual activities as well. I'm teaching actually a sobriety class. So it's a wide range of different classes. and they have a list of classes for Blue Weekend, and you can find a lot of things and learn a lot of new things by attending some of these classes.
I'm, I'm
Don,
proud of the variety.
do you know how many classes there are going to be this year?
17.
17 classes. What are some of them?
We've got your class, so we've got uh, three different types of relationship classes. We've got Lucky and Prussian Fire teaching their primal class. Um, Master Velvet is teaching a class about self-awareness. Oh gosh. Daddy Brian's teaching a class on You've Got a Pet Now What? I'm doing one on pet consent. There's history and leather. There's going to be fire. There's going to be wax. There's going to be fisting. There's going to be sensual and erotic boot blocking. There's going to be a cigar social class, basic BDSM. I'm missing some, but yeah, that's about it.
Are these classes all on Saturday? Yeah, the Saturday.
They run. They're gonna Registration is gonna be Friday at Pause, and then we're gonna be at the Montrose Center between 9 and 9:30 for those who want to show up. Classes do start at 11. They'll run in 45 increments. That extra 15 minutes allows for some questions and people to talk with the instructor and that fun stuff. There's going to be classes at the Montrose Center, and then starting at 1 when the pet social starts. We'll have 3 classes, and then the Texas Leather Generation Project Pet Pup and Critter Q&A session.
Okay, yeah. And so y'all, the registration is on Friday the 11th. The classes are going to be on Saturday the 12th. And so she did mention that I am doing a sobriety class. And my class is just about like not doing anything that you would not do soberly, and not to do things. Basically, it's saying don't use substances and to medicate, not really be, you shouldn't be exploring basically kinks without or on drugs. Like you if you can't do it soberly, essentially you shouldn't be doing the kink. That's what I'm basically teaching. Like if you can't do,
You start to lose the lack of consent.
well, you
When
don't.
the more impaired you are,
And what
the
I've
lack of
learned,
consent.
what I've read a lot is that people can hurt themselves. So you have to,
Mm.
when you're on drugs and doing things like that. So that's kind of what my discussion is going to be about. Kevin came on and talked about how to get your tickets and all that, and I'm going to be sharing a lot of Kevin's interview, alongside yours with this.
Mhm.
What has it been like being an educational coordinator for Blue Weekend?
It was more or less given to me, hey Don, you want to try this? And I'm like, sure, why not? I'm unfortunately like you. One of our biggest traits is also one of our biggest faults. We help out all that we can and anywhere that we can, not always realizing what we're signing up for. um, Last year was an experience, but I'm grateful for it. It allowed me to see parts of the community that I wouldn't normally see, talk to people I wouldn't normally talk to. As I said, how I met you in person. Um, but I truly enjoyed just learning about the different subjects because these classes give us a chance to learn about something we may never experience because that's not part of our normal kink or our normal realm of what we prefer. It gives us a chance to learn more about others, that we want to learn more about others in our community or something that our friends or family are into, and we want to be better educated so we can support them more. These classes also help dispel any myths or misconceptions that this is how it's supposed to be. It's this way. But in reality, it's a broad spectrum from, very mild to odor god extreme, which that's usually what everybody expects. And it shows a different side than what people normally see.
Yeah, yeah. So I just came when I was there last year, I came just to assist you. Yeah, I didn't teach
Mhm.
that year, but I do remember the classes. I remember Master Cat's class, Beyond Red. That was very interesting. And in terms of placing spaces. Dawn, we've had you on here prior to this, and we talked a lot about nurturing. Is this part of your nurturing? Is this why you were attracted to this?
Being able to guide and help people. I never claim to have all the answers. I barely have any for myself, but being able to introduce someone to someone that can help them or to help them continue on their path, and for them just to say thank you and to watch them grow and to see them spread their wings. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. I just, or people coming out of the class, oh my gosh, I learned something new, and oh my gosh, I didn't know this. Um, and also, sometimes when people are into new things, they're ashamed of the kink or fetish that they're in. It's like, it's consensual. Are you having fun? Are you, is this what you enjoy? It's not wrong. They're not hurting each other without consent. I mean, just allowing people to explore sides of themselves and get the knowledge to do it correctly and safely and give them the resources.
Have you personally experienced or know of negative experiences that have come due to lack of education in the community?
Every day.
So
Every
let's
day.
talk about that. What are some of the situations you've encountered?
It's, it's like when people walk into Ripcord and they see that St. Edward's cross. The knowledge they have is what they've seen on porn, what they've seen on movies. Um, when they're flogging, oh my gosh, they think they can be drunker than Cooter Brown, and it's okay. It's not. Like you talked about earlier, you lose your boundaries, you lose yourself of what's okay and what's not okay, what you can take. Um, and because people see it on TV or they've seen videos, it's not a big deal, and they don't realize that they can get hurt or they can hurt others. Oh, let me go buy that from the store and let me do this to you. You've got zero knowledge of how to do things properly. And if you go by what's, in the movies or in social media, a lot of times those are extreme on one side or the other, and that's not how it really is. And like you said, people get hurt physically, emotionally, um, and even death can happen if things aren't done properly. Um, and education also helps people be less embarrassed. Oh my gosh, I can't talk about that. Yes, you can. We can introduce you and guide you to the right people where you feel safe, where you're not alone, you're not a freak, and it's okay to like different things. It doesn't make it wrong. It's just different. We don't judge. You like being nude. I don't. I like clothes. I accept you for who you are. Um, Neither one of us is wrong, and we make it fit. We make it work, and that's what people need to do about education. Find what works for you. Get that knowledge that works for you. You're going to get bits and pieces from different instructors and different community leaders. Get all that information and mold and fit what works for you. And
Um,
that's what all education is, allowing you to be better, do better, and grow.
I think a lot of these classes can be helpful. At me, myself, as a sexual assault survivor, sometimes these things can provide a sense of regaining your sexuality that you might have think has been taken from you. I think that it's healthy for us to try to work through our traumas that might manifest through our
Yeah.
sexual sides, and that's okay. And we learn and we figure out what's right for us and what seems okay for us. But sometimes people don't know, and people feel more ashamed if they're sexual assault survivors because it might have been through some kind of horrific way. Like for me, I was drugged, and then when I woke up and I was, it was nothing consensual was going down. But that trauma
Yeah.
triggered so many things. It became, I lost interest and and being the bottom basically after that. I lost interest in romance. There were so many things, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, sex became more of like just this like empty function um, that I thought was maybe satisfying whatever void was going on, because that's when we start to turn to things to do that. But when after my
Mm-hmm.
sexual assault, I fell into drugs, and so I was doing a lot of things I would not have normally done soberly, and that's you have to kind of get to that. Like I got to a moral conflict with inside of me when
Yeah.
it came to
But
that.
but also with education, when there's sexual assault and sexual abuse, sometimes when people get into certain kinks and fetishes or different parts of the community, they're brainwashed, or again through social media and all that, that's how it's supposed to be. But with education, they learn what's okay, what's not okay, um, how to work with their boundaries, how to express that they're not comfortable. That okay, it's okay to say I'm not comfortable. I don't like this. This hurts. People think kink and BDSM, it's supposed to be hurt. It's supposed to be painful. I'm supposed to bleed. I'm supposed to cry. And
Yeah.
that's not the case. And
Yeah.
that's what education teaches them, that this is what's safe. This isn't. If you see these signs, you need to say something or you just need to leave.
We'll see the issue you have here, and I'm going to say maybe borderline predators. There are people that have no real true engagement with the leather community that are doing leather things. And so they're maybe influencing these people that don't know any better. And I would bank on a lot of
Yep.
it that most of that demographic are the ones that are probably doing things wrong or saying things like that, or not giving people the option when they go through that because they're Dom or whatever, but it's not coming from the core of the community of values and what that means. And it's not,
Exactly.
you know what I'm saying? I find
Yeah.
that a lot of, I
Sometimes
find
they'll
that
see
a lot
straight
of
up
men,
what you see.
I find that a lot of gay men misuse Dom. I really do. I think a lot of them just
Yeah.
go around saying, "Oh, I'm Dom," like that. It's not, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's like, I am Daddy Dom, hear me roar, you have to listen to me, you do as I say. And that's not the case.
Yeah, they don't have the emotional intellect. You know
They're
what I'm
still
saying?
in middle school.
It's
Yeah,
they
they're still in middle
don't
school
have
with that
the
attitude.
emotional intellect. Like, and that's the thing. You know, you can't, you gotta either want that or not, dude. You can't
Yeah.
push that on people. Either you want to know how to do things right or you don't. You know what I'm saying? And I would think that anybody comes into my space, I don't want them to feel threatened. I don't want them to feel anybody that goes any kind of behavior spectrum down the road. If I am not, if you don't feel comfortable around me, then we have to have a conversation on why that is, or what am I doing, like, you know what I'm saying, like I want to know how can I make you feel comfortable if we are to be in this space together, right? But it's
Well,
50.
education helps with that too. Finding your words and finding your voice. And I like the fact that we've got a few subjects that are similar, but different, different perceptions, different views, and different parts of the lifestyle. Um, Education also, we've got the classes and instruction, it allows people to ask questions that they didn't know to ask. Or let's just use the pet community. Go to the classes because you're curious. You've seen them out and about. Well, what the hell is this all about? People always ask me about it. But also, too, when I show them pictures of when I hang out, oh my gosh, you're with a guy that's got no pants on. Okay. But that's their choice. When you're comfortable with someone and you're learning, it makes it better. It becomes more of a social interaction instead of feeling like a gawking at the zoo, like we're the freaks and they're on the other side. It's like, oh my God, look at that one. Look at that one. That's education. Education makes our community human. We're not, an oddity. We're not something to be stared at. We're not something to um,
I love
just like
that.
the freak show at the circus. We are loving, caring people. Yeah, we all have different aspects that we enjoy, but we're here to build each other up. We're here to promote one another and educate one another so that we have a better, stronger community.
Education is human. I like
Mhm.
that. I mean, think about it. The issues that we have in the world all have to deal with this humane look at. So when people are uneducated, they look at things and paint them as inhumane. Just look how, in our country we have, so like, minority groups that are targeted and, made to be something that they're not just because they can. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Um,
Yeah.
what has been the most rewarding, what, something we haven't talked to, and which is even the most important, and I think not the most important, but something that is very important, and the fact is that you are heterosexual and that you are able to be in this community and be so influential. I know you have had your struggles and trying to get respect, and I'm sure as a woman, I totally get that. But I've also seen how people respect you. When I come to Houston, I mean, like you are revered. Is that the word? You're You are revered. Y'all don't even know if that's the right word to use right now. You are loved. I should have just said that. You
I'm
are
very
loved.
grateful.
You are loved.
I'm
Uh,
very grateful. And for people, when people think of education, they do think of classes. But when you talk about respect and learning, you show up. You become knowledgeable about your community by participating in your community. They may not accept you. They may not ever accept you, but you keep showing up. People are going to talk to you when you're asking questions. When you, like when I first started coming out of the community, Mikey Whitney was one of my first chosen children. And this is before I was even in the community. He worked at TC's at the time, but he invited me to a show and didn't know what to expect. But I kept going back and meeting people like the sisters, the pups, the leather daddies. I was meeting them and I was curious and I wanted to know. These are parts of the community I've never seen before. And when you start talking to people and you're hearing their stories, you start to learn. You start learning new aspects about yourself, but your compassion grows. You're wanting to help a community that has accepted you. And that's where it starts. Learning starts by showing up and being there. And it may take people a little bit to talk to you, but the wonderful people that's going to touch your life, the you're going to meet some that you don't get along with, but they are a learning lesson within themselves. But the community that welcomes you with open arms, and then you're able to pay that back and help welcome new members, help members that have been have been out on the outskirts because they didn't feel important. Well, you get to make them feel important. You get to show them that they're loved and wanted, and that they matter.
I think it's beautiful. Like to me, I just think that it's so amazing you being the person who you are, and you are a rare. I've never run into a person like you before in this community, and so I just think that's pretty
You did
awesome.
right.
I said I've never run into anyone like you before, and
I
walk.
said you should have run the other direction.
Dude, what'd you say?
Yeah, I just I I know what it's like to not feel welcome, to feel wanted, to always feeling like you're on the outside looking in, and just wishing someone would care for me. I get to do that for others. I know that feeling, and I will do everything I can. So I may not be able to take it all away, but just for a moment, let you know that you matter, that someone does care, that you aren't alone, that when you go out and you see me, I swear to God, I will give you a hug. I will sit there and I'll talk to you. Um, I just don't want people feeling alone and isolated just because of what's going on inside here, because we are our own worst enemies. We can kill ourselves with our thoughts quicker than people can with words. And by doing a lot of the things that I've done, I can't tell people to step outside their box. I can't tell people to try. I can't tell people to do classes, things that they're interested in or they're curious about. If I don't do that myself too, I can only lead by example. And it's just to show that you can do this. It's okay. Baby steps. Don't try to force it. Don't try to rush it. Also, to see all these people that have been in the community, look how you shine. It takes time, but they can't compare themselves to you. They need to focus on their journey because they are amazing in their own right, and they will find their light and their wings and their voice, and they will be our next leaders and our next educators and instructors.
It's really hard to not compare yourself to others. I know that's something probably,
I do it all the time.
I'm a leader. Like
Imposter
I
syndrome
have
real.
to, I just have to remind myself that I am the only person that can do LTJ. No matter what someone tries to do or take from me, I'm the one that makes the magic for it. And that's what makes me special. But at the same time, compare myself to someone who hasn't gone through the struggles and the triumphs I have. Like, everybody has a struggle. And
Mhm.
I just find that envy doesn't do anybody any good. And sometimes the people we envy are in worse places than we are. And
Yep.
jealousy too, all of that. Like there's just really it's a very wasteful emotion. It doesn't you get
It's
nothing from
hard.
it.
It's really hard. But again, that's where That's where having support and having knowledge helps. Even if I only know you, that's someone else, that's someone I didn't know before. You, if you find one person who knows one or two other people, they can help guide you to where you need to be or who you should talk to. Again, it's people forget that when they're taking them around to other people, meeting them, we're educating those people on who our community members are. Education happens all the time, not just in a classroom. Education happens when we're listening to a discussion of our friends talking around us or at a gathering. We learn about others. We learn about things that we wouldn't know about had we not been in that room or that event. It's just by showing up. And to learn, you do need to show up,
Yeah.
even if it's just 5, 10 minutes at a time.
So, Don, we are getting towards the end of the episode. You've been in this spot before. You should know what this last question is going to be. Don, so is there anything that you think that we have not shed light on in our community that you think we need to shed light on? And I don't remember what your first answer was, but don't give me whatever your first
Remember,
answer.
yeah, I think focusing on same gender marriages and families, how they are able to have a family with a lot of the prejudices that are out there, and how it's, people can provide loving and caring families without the social norms of man and woman and a picket fence.
I don't think we talk about the love in gay marriage, and I don't think society talks about the love in gay marriage or same-sex marriage.
And they're not talking to the right people.
So, well, but most people aren't talking to the right. The people judging are the ones that are homophobic,
Mm-hmm.
But we're here to show them, it is absolutely beautiful to see two men or two women with children to be cared for, because we talk about
That's
all
a family.
life like that is a beautiful thing for a child to be given to a family. That's a beautiful thing for
When
the
a child
family.
is shown love and
Like,
compassion and care by two people that love each other and love their children unconditionally.
and
That's not defined by sex or gender.
like it's very, I don't get it, but I personally believe that pro-life is being concerned with life from the beginning to the end, and education is part of your life and something that you need. And I feel like if you're being deprived of education, I think that is inhumane.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There we are.
And that's what we worry too, is that's why we have our classes, because we don't want people, we want to get the word out as much as we can so people aren't deprived of the knowledge to make more educated decisions about themselves and about the lives around them.
And that's a perfect end. Perfect. There we go. All right, Don. It has been wonderful. I'll probably gonna have you back again.
Okay. I expect hugs in 2 weeks.
You're gonna see me in 2 weeks, love. Thank you for being on Throwing Light. Everybody that's watching, come on, let's say it together, Don. It's gonna be, if you're not throwing light, you're not acting right. You ready? We're gonna say it together. 1, 2, 3. If you're not throwing light, you're not acting right.
Acting right.
There we go.
Love you.
Bye. See y'all later.